Let's travel back to the summer of 2021, where everyone was relearning how to socialize post-COVID. Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson went to fucking space, and all AEW fans were wondering if CM Punk was going to make his return to wrestling. Now cut to present day, where most wrestling fans are anticipating CM Punk's return to WWE at Survivor Series. This of course isn't confirmed, but at this stage it kind of feels like it has to happen, so the War Games main event wouldn't be showered with boos. But obviously, this wouldn't be CM Punk's first appearance in wrestling during this decade. For over 2 years in AEW, CM Punk was one of, if not the top draw for the company, having some amazing promos, matches, and a couple of unforgettable feuds. It really is a damn shame with how everything ended up though, decreasing the reputation for not just Punk, but everyone that was involved in this drama, especially Tony Khan when it comes to business perspectives. But I'm not here to discuss the drama. This video is to look back at the best matches CM Punk delivered in his shorter AEW career. In the time he had a great list of opponents to choose from, with some matches that couldn't even make this list, like him versus Dustin Rhodes or his first Collision match. But these ones for me were a little more memorable. I'm Duke from Duke It Out, here to give you the top 10 CM Punk matches in AEW. Before I begin, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more great wrestling content. Number 10, CM Punk vs Satoshi Kajima, Forbidden Door 2023. A really good singles match alone, but what put this match on the list was Punk's sarcastic charisma. While being booed in Toronto, he used it to his advantage, mocking Hulk Hogan and the entire crowd in general. I was there live and it was pretty funny to witness. And a hilarious callback from one of his old interviews yelling "Lariat" or "Kojima" in the corner. Since we never got a solidified heel run from Punk in the company, this is one of the biggest what-if matches for AEW. Number 9, CM Punk, Darby Allin, and Sting vs The Pinnacle, Dynamite Holiday Bash 2021. A real perk that Punk had in AEW, especially in the beginning of his run, was his ability to make a simple TV match so much fun. And this Dynamite main event is one of the most entertaining the company has ever had. Punk joining Sting and Darby with some face paint, and playing a very fun game of cat and mouse with MJF throughout. And the ring work is of course great, especially when you re-look at everyone involved. This was an example of how good wrestling can be when it has the right kind of over the top. Number 8, CM Punk vs Darby Allin, All Out 2021. Punk's first pro wrestling match in 7 years, and Darby was a terrific first opponent. He's one of the company's most popular stars, and it left a bit of unpredictability during the match itself. I haven't seen this one praised as much as others, and this really did get better when I watched it again. It gave me more of a focus on how crisp their chemistry really was, especially during the second half with back and forth sequences leading to the finish. The execution was incredible. This one will always have some praise with the history to it, but I think the match overall deserves a bit more praise. Number 7, CM Punk vs Dax Harwood, Dynamite 2022. Phrases have been repeated a lot in wrestling, acknowledging how friends in the business can bring out their best. And this match is a prime example. The friendship with CM Punk and FTR has been shown on and off camera, and that bond brought out some awesome chemistry in the ring, with some amazing counters, very close roll-ups, and the more it continued, got very intense. It was also around a time where they were exploiting Dax as a singles wrestler, and Punk made sure to make him look as good as possible. And speaking of Punk and FTR, number 6, CM Punk and Jon Moxley vs FTR, Dynamite 2022. One thing that felt good with Punk's return was his ability to go more back to his ROH/indie roots. And this tag match felt like an independent match in the best of ways. FTR having some hilarious charisma with their heel work, Moxley and Punk clearly having a blast the whole time. And then they set the tone a bit more serious for the closing half to just give us some nail-biting tag team wrestling, with awesome sequences, moves tributing tag team wrestling altogether, and many moments that got the crowd very pumped. It's the kind of execution that only a certain level of pro wrestlers can achieve. And this is one of the most rewatchable Punk matches for me in his AEW career. Number 5, MJF vs CM Punk, Dynamite 2022. The feud between Punk and MJF has not only been praised as the best Punk feud in AEW, but even the best feud the company has had so far. And this was their first encounter in the ring, with the second maybe appearing on this list. Yeah, of course it is. But this is one of the company's best TV main events, especially when it comes to singles matches. MJF doing some great taunting to the Chicago crowd, which made any of Punk's moves get an even bigger pop. If you've seen it, the match is in a way 2 matches due to some MJF shenanigans. But they used that booking to its advantage, with it being even more intense when the match restarted. And MJF got the bragging right that he defeated CM Punk in Chicago 2 times in one night. Number 4, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, All In 2023. CM Punk's last match in AEW, and at the very least, it got to be with someone who many call his greatest ever opponent. Even 20 years after one of my favorite matches of all time, the chemistry that these two have is undeniable. And Punk sold everything to its fullest in this match, which made the beatdowns that Joe delivered on Punk even more entertaining. Joe swinging him through the table is still one of my favorite spots of the whole year. And even with it being only 15-ish minutes, there's a ton of brutal action, great sequences, and the Pepsi plunge finish was a great touch. Especially because if he is going back to WWE, he's probably never doing that move again. Number 3, Jon Moxley versus CM Punk, All Out 2022. While Punk vs. Joe is for sure Punk's last match in AEW, many of us thought this was Punk's last AEW match after last year. And I think the drama of the brawlout overshadowed how good this main event actually was. They both delivered the big fight feel instantaneously. Punk really brought in the motivation and anger that he had with the story of him getting squashed by Mox weeks prior. Moxley had terrific arrogance, and this match has some of the best showings of his ring intelligence. And this might have just been from a live perspective, but the crowd brought so much more energy too. Whether anyone was cheering or booing one of the two guys, the noise spread everywhere. Definitely Punk's best pay-per-view main event in the promotion, and followed the curse that Moxley loses when he doesn't bleed. Number 2, CM Punk vs. Eddie Kingston, Full Gear 2021. I'll just say this now, the top 2 is very similar to many. But it stands to reason because they're that damn good. Usually when a match has shorter build-up, fans aren't as excited. But these two only needed one promo to make this one of the most hyped matches of that year. Eddie Kingston's intimidating walk to the ring with the immediate back fist brought even more hype than there already was. And the real issues these two have seemed to have really brought out the violent and angry tension to the match. But it really f***ing worked. Punk mocking John Cena, Kingston giving his all with either his moves or charisma, and it's one of the most perfect matches to execute a fight in pro wrestling. And number 1, CM Punk vs. MJF, Revolution 2022. Obviously, it was going to be this. I've talked about this dog collar classic on many other list videos, and it's warranted. The culmination of this terrific feud had the violence, intensity, and storytelling that it deserved. Punk bled a lot for AEW, but this was the only time I was legitimately worried for him. But it sold Punk's offensive side even better and made the taunting by MJF bring some legitimate anger to the people watching. And this match definitely wouldn't be as memorable if these two didn't execute their character traits the way they did. And to top all that, it's got other moments to remember in the beginning or end. From Punk's ROH entrance to Wardlow giving Punk the Dynamite Diamond Ring. It's one of the best matches in the company's history, and regardless of CM Punk's future in wrestling, this dog collar match is going to be staying in the company's ranks. So those are my 10 favorite CM Punk matches in AEW. Please let me know your favorite matches from his run over there in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and duke out your opinions below in the comments.